Be sure to go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. You can do the same at the Grizzly Gentleman for some fantastic beard products that'll make your beard look and smell great. You can also go to TCG Player using the affiliate link below and shop there to help support the show. And last but absolutely not least, go to greyvikinggames.com with the link below to get those sweet arena codes. What is up, Planeswalkers? Theurix6 back with some more Magic the Gathering Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, D&D previews, etc., etc. Gonna go ahead and start this video by saying, it is summertime. And my beard, some people's beard, some people, they sweat a lot in the summertime under their beard. But me, my beard just gets incredibly dry. So, using this oil that you can also get from the Grizzly Gentleman is absolutely fantastic. It feels so incredibly rejuvenating. I still have the peppermint, although like I'm getting towards the bottom, so I will need to get some more soon. And if you have a beard, get that or a bunch of other products over at the Grizzly Gentleman. It's great stuff. So let's hop in today. I am officially caught up with the spoilers, so that's fantastic. I'm very glad that I've been able to catch up. This video should not be an hour long like the other ones unless I talk too damn much. Herald of Hadar is a 5-mana 4/4 human warlock. Arms of Hadar is a spell in D&D. It's kind of this weird tentacly graspy thing which you can kind of see here. Very, very creepy and like Lovecraftian. Circle of Death. 6 mana, roll a d20. Notably, this is not restricted to the number of times you can use it. It's not restricted to when you can use it. You can use this as much as you have mana for. 1 to 9, each opponent loses 2 life. 10 to 9, or 10 to 19, gosh, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. 20, each opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life, create 2 treasure tokens. Hilarious. The reason it's hilarious is because the treasure tokens help you to do it more. Is this card good? I gotta think that in Sealed, this is pretty decent in a dice roll deck. Not a treasure token deck, just because of the fact that you're relatively unlikely to get it. But just like in a deck where you have a lot of good cards that trigger off of rolling dice, the fact that you can, like, mana sinks and Sealed tend to be pretty strong, because you get into top deck modes pretty quickly in a lot of formats, and then like you just have these lands that you may or may not have anything to do with. So having mana sinks is typically quite nice. Now obviously we have the lands that can turn into creatures, but the fact that this is a common, I suspect that this is going to be pretty decent in Sealed. Loathsome Troll is a 5-mana 6/2 troll. Okay, for a second, I thought it ripped the skin off of someone. But I see now that it got its arm chopped off. I thought this was like a fist. Anyway, 5-mana 6/2 troll, 4 mana, roll a d20, activate only if Loathsome Troll is in your graveyard. 1 to 9, put it on top of your library. 10 to 19, put it in your hand. 20, return to the battlefield tapped. So very interesting card. Again, like this is kind of the same ethos as the previous card. The fact that this is a mana sink is pretty decent. Obviously, getting the 1 to 9 isn't the best. You're not always going to want to have something that goes to your library. That's not good. But the rest of them are pretty decent. Like 50%. This is relatively good, right? Even if you were just like recasting, like returning to your hand and recasting it, like it is 6 power, and if you're literally casting it, it doesn't return tapped. So I think this card is again kind of decent. The fact that it's also just like 4 mana to roll a d20, like obviously with this, you're really in it for the abilities as well as the fact that you're rolling a d20. This one at 4 mana, if this is just in your graveyard, you could just roll a d20 and then, like, if you have the mana, in response, roll a d20, right? That way you still have rolls. So it's pretty sick. Arcane Investigator, 2 mana, 2/1 elf wizard. Search the room, 6 mana, roll a d20. First half, draw a card. Second half, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom in any order. 2 mana, 2/1, 6 mana. fucking blue. Draw a card. Yeah, no, this one also seems kind of decent. The fact that it's a 2-mana 2/1 means that like you don't have to worry about it like gumming up your hand in the early game. So you can actually play it as a bear. Obviously, it's not. Oh gosh, I got a call. Obviously not an actual bear because it doesn't have 2 toughness, or the bear creature type. But you know, this is better than most bears because in the late game, like you top deck this, and then you play it, and potentially you have enough mana either on that turn or the following turn to just roll, and if nothing else, draw a card. Seems good. Scaled Herbalist is a lizard druid, 2 mana, 1/3. Tap, you may put a land card from your hand out of the battlefield. Yep, we have seen cards like this before. Dancing Sword is it's a troll, and it got its arm cut off. Awkward. As a 2-mana artifact equipment, equipped creature gets +2/+1. When an equipped creature dies, you may when a equipped creature dies, you may have Dancing Sword become a 2/1 construct artifact creature with flying and ward 1. If you do, it isn't an equipment. Notably, this card, it just doesn't become it doesn't re-become an equipment. If you flicker it, sure, but when the equipped creature dies, if you choose to make it a construct, it's not an equipment anymore. You can't turn it back on the card itself. Another thing I want you to notice is the fact that this is 2, 1 to equip, and gives +2/+1 with other upside. Let's just double check with +2 mace again. 2 and 3 to equip. I understand that this is common and this is a rare, but that's no excuse. It's stupid. It's so I don't appreciate that. Anyway, Old Gnawbone. This is pretty decent art. Although it looks like it has a Fu Manchu. I'm pretty sure it's just eating somebody, but it does kind of look like it has a Fu Manchu. Anyway, 7 mana, 7/7 legendary flying dragon. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. Now, I've talked with some people in the community about how kind of weird this card feels. If you think about it, you know, green is known a little bit more for like food tokens, especially since like the idea I think is he's eating. Oh, it's her. The thing is, she's usually eating. At least that's what it looks like. So it is a bit strange. Oh, you know what? It's just because this one, she's eating. It doesn't look like there's any treasure around. This one, it's very obvious that she's taking things. She's not currently eating anyone. Yeah, I don't, but still, like, mechanically speaking, you know, it'd make more sense for food, but frankly, I just think this is a lot cooler. And the fact that it works with all of your creatures, and it doesn't, like, this doesn't have to be attacking for it to work. It's literally just like, turn 7, you play this, you attack in, get some damage in, boom, you have a lot of treasures. You can just cast another thing, right? Love this card. Gonna try it out in some sort of weird 5-color dragon deck in Brawl. And also, obviously, gonna try an Dragon because being able to potentially like ramp this out and then ramp out all of my dragons is pretty. Zorn is a 3-mana 3/2 elemental. If you would create 1 or more treasure tokens, instead create those tokens plus an additional 1. I think this is new wording on the way they do tokens, or with the way they do kind of a lot of things. I think this is kind of new words. If you create 1 or more treasure tokens, instead create. Yeah, usually it's that many tokens. Then this. So yeah, I think this is relatively new, and it keeps messing me up. But yeah, instead create those tokens. Plus, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. 3-mana 3/2 with upside. Yeah, probably decent. In, you know, limited treasure decks. Maybe you can see this in a black-red, the black-red treasure ball deck I talked about. Maybe this is good enough to be in like a black-red. I don't remember if I was planning on making that mono black or black red, but I'm thinking of like a treasure deck that uses Revel in Riches as a win con. So who knows? Also, random point. If you know where this music playing in the background comes from, let me know. Barbarian class. It's a new type of enchantment, or enchantment subtype. Cool. This is like if you merge like the level up cards from World Wake, I want to say, with the sagas. Boom, you put them together. So now instead of the sagas being, you know, they automatically go through, you choose when they go through, and I believe you don't lose the above ones. Yeah, add its ability. Yeah, it's not change it to its ability, it's add it. If you would roll one or more dice, instead roll that many dice plus one and ignore the lowest roll. Essentially, this gives you advantage, right? You're going into Berserker Rage. You know, you're getting some good old. I don't even remember if Berserker or if going Berserk just gives you advantage. I think it just increases your attack roll, doesn't it? I could be super wrong. And I literally have the player's handbook right there, but I don't care. Yeah, so you know your attack roll is better. Then only one in a red, level 2. When you roll one or more dice, target creature you control will get +2/+0 and gains menace until end of turn. Going into actual rage. And then 3 mana for level 3, creature you control have haste. Overall, it's 6 mana to have all of these effects on at a single time. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, if you're in a dice rolling deck, this is pretty good. Just on the merits of its first one. If you're a dice rolling deck, it's possible that you're using things like Zorn to be a little more aggressive. Wait a minute. Why did I say Zorn? I meant somebody else. You know what? Don't judge me, all right? I don't know what I'm talking about. Whatever, dude, whatever. Anyway, it's good. It's good in the dice roll deck. All right, shut up. Warlock class. A single black. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, each opponent loses 1 life. It's good that it's not just your creature, but the fact that it's only at the beginning of your end step means this feels weaker than the red one. Although I guess that depends on how many good roll a d20 cards there are. For level 2, it's 2 mana. When this class becomes level 2, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So this is also feels kind of weak because so far, I mean, we've only looked at one class, but this is not a static ability, right? This is a triggered ability, and it's okay. You know, you get to look at the top 3, you put one into your hand, so you know, if nothing else, this is 2 mana in mono black to draw a card plus this effect. But you do get to put the other 2 into your graveyard. Black is known to make use out of that. Now, for level 3, 7 mana, a bit of a jump there. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. So, what this means is if you attack your opponent for 2, at the end of their turn, they take an additional 2. If you drain your opponent, say, or not just drain, but life loss, then your opponent will lose more life. So let's say a creature died on your turn, and your opponent took 2 damage. If you stack your triggers in such a way that the first trigger resolves first, your opponent has taken 2 damage, and now they've lost 1 life. Now, they'll lose 3 more life. So that 3 life lost has turned into 6, which is pretty cool, but at 7 mana? No. Cleric class, 1 mana white enchantment. If you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. We have 3 1 mana things that. Oh wait, no, this is not the thing that I'm thinking of. Gosh dang it. Whatever. I don't know if it inherently goes into like the lifelink deck, and here's why. The Brawl deck, absolutely. 4 mana for level 2. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on target creature control. Now, it's nice that this comes down pretty early, or you can weave it in with other things. It makes it so you're at or above a certain life threshold, cards come on quicker. And it does a decent Heliod impression. But it does cost 4 life for you to do nothing. You know, you're not adding to the board. It doesn't like gain you 1 life tacked onto that ability. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna try it out. 5 mana for level 3, and when this class becomes level 3, you turn target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, you gain life equal to its toughness. This one is actually, like, fine. If, you know, I talked about the Warlock one, the middle ability being kind of meh, because it's just a one-and-done thing. This one, though, it's literally just like a reanimation spell. Now, obviously, you might be thinking, can I just pay the 5? No, you have to go through. So it's not 5 mana, it's 10 mana. But it is 10 mana, like, with good stuff on the way. And this can just get you back your best creature. You gain life equal to its toughness, which is pretty nice because it's also going to trigger the rest of these things. You know, it's probably okay. Oh, you know what? I'll probably end up putting this in my Aloro deck. That deck has plenty of mana, because it's more of a control-y deck. And you might be saying, like, well, then how are you going to get the counters on your creatures? I would only ever level it up once I have the extra mana, and or have a creature I want to get larger. And for the last one, even though I'm a control deck, I have a few number of creatures that are pretty good. And if they die, Divinity of Pride, then I could get them back, and they would be very large. You know, get back Divinity of Pride, gain, what, 9 life, technically, make it 1 larger, so it's now a 9/9. I mean, it's pretty sick. I mean, I took out Sarah's avatar a long time ago, because it's just like, I can't play Fling, like, it doesn't really do anything, it doesn't have evasion inherently. But essentially, like, having that in would double my life total, which is pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know. Bard class, red and green. Oh, it's a dual thing. Red-green for Bard. Yeah, red-green's fine. I think literally anything could be Bard with, as long as it had red in it. Like, I could see red-white being this, like, community storyteller. Red-blue obviously is like this artist. I mean, we start with Prismari. It's like this artistic musical expression. Red-black, we kind of have that with Rakdos, where they're performers. You know, they're doing their thing. And then obviously red-green is just an. This one feels more like a wandering bard. That's kind of just like this figure, this kind of mythical thing. Anyway, I should talk about the card. Red-green, legendary creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on them. Interesting. I'm sad that it's not green-white, because I can't put it in Sisay, because that would be awesome. But red-green legends. Do we have a card that cares about legends? In just, like, in red-green color identity? I think Sisay? Does the new Sisay care about? Where are you at? What's there? Yeah, okay. So Sisay is definitely a thing that you can use with this. What's interesting though is that legendary for 2 mana again for level 2, which is pretty awesome. Legendary spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. It's red and green specifically. This effect only reduces the amount of colored mana you pay. So if you have that Sisay, for example, and this is level 2, your Captain Sisay is still going to cost you 3 mana, 2 and a white, because she does not have green in her cost. Level 3 is 5 mana. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. I mean, for what it's worth, red and green are known for having a decent amount of mana, so this is probably just fine. You may play them. Oh yeah, it's also just play, so you can also just get a land from there. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I don't... Nothing jumps out at me on Irina where this would go, but hey, I'd be surprised. Minsk, Beloved Ranger. Red, green, white. This doesn't have... Okay, just to make sure. Red, green, white, human ranger, who has a mouse friend, hilariously. When Minsk, Beloved Ranger enters the battlefield, create Boo, a legendary 1/1 red hamster creature. We now have hamster. They could have just made it a rat. I understand that they're different technically, but they are rodents. But Justin, beavers are rodents, and I bet you would want them to be beasts. Well, I frankly wouldn't care. because I'm assuming beavers will be few and far between in Magic. I swear to God, if someone looks up a fucking beaver that's been printed in Magic the Gathering, shut up. All right, I don't care. But like, why they add hamster? My boy can't be buffed by other essentially the same creatures. It makes me sad. Regardless, cool. It is 1/1 hamster with trample and haste, whatever. Pay X until end of turn. Target creature you control has base power and toughness XX and becomes a giant in addition to its other types. Activate only as a sorcery. This is essentially enlarge reduce, but only the enlarge part. Yeah, I mean he can target himself. He can target his hamster. Sure, I don't care about this card like in the slightest. Wizard class, single blue. You have no maximum hand size. Yeah, reasonable. Sure, cool. 3 mana, level 2. When this class becomes level 2, draw 2 cards. For what it's worth, this one is like pretty fine. Like this is just divination on a card that does whatever. Like you wouldn't want to pay 3 mana for this. You wouldn't want to pay 1 mana for this. I think Spellbook is a 0 cost artifact. I could be wrong. Level 4, whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. So now you're getting to the point where you actually have stuff. Does this fit in the deck, in like the blue-red deck that wants to draw 2 cards? I don't know. Because, well, I guess that deck already plays that enchantment that has a Mana Seek already. I think it's the one that like makes the 1/1 fairies. So maybe this card is fine. I don't know. Draw 2 cards whenever you draw a card. Probably decent in Niv Mizzet decks. The ones that, the EDH decks that care about drawing cards. Locust God? Locust God? Okay, I could see this in Locust God. There you go. Wizard class. Ranger class. 2 green. 1 and a green, whatever, shut up. When Ranger class enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. This one is rare, by the way. Yeah, I mean, it's a bear that has extra things. For example, 1 in green, level 2. Whenever you attack, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature. Whenever you attack. So this might be new wording as well. Whenever you attack, because typically it'll say like whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures, do this, or it would say like whenever a creature attacks, then that would trigger for each creature. This is just saying whenever you attack. So I'm assuming this triggers once per combat, but it might not. It might be whenever a creature of yours attacks. And by the way, if any of you like have read up on this and like you know how it works, please let me know in the comments. I try not to be wrong with these things, but you know, it's a new set, new cards. They change the wording sometimes. Okay, it's very hard to be me. Anyway, yeah, I mean even then, like this is totally fine. You know, turn 2, you play the wolf. Turn 3, you know, you play a tap land, you level 2, you attack with the wolf, it's now 3 power, right? Like that's not terrible, and that like continues on. So I think this is pretty decent. You know, turn 4, you play a questing beast, you attack, make the wolf a 4/4. Now you have 2 4/4s attacking on turn 4. Seems fine to me, especially considering you absolutely played Pelt Collector on turn 1, which means you actually attacked for a lot more than that. So, oh wait, what am I talking about? Even better. Turn 1 Pelt Collector. Turn 2 this. Turn 3 play a land. Level 2 this. Adventure your the Love Struck Beast. Then turn 4, bada bing bada boom, you play Questing Beast. Turn 5, you don't actually level this up at that point in a deck like that. You only level up when you like need to. But regardless, I mean, level 3, 4 mana, look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Sure, I mean, that's cool. Yep. Awesome. But I mean, the main things for this are the first 2. I look at this as a 4 mana enchantment that comes with a creature. You meet in a tavern. Awesome. 4 mana, choose 1, form a party, or start a brawl. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You reveal any number of creature cards from among them and put them in your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of the library in any order. This essentially is Lead the Stampede? Lead the Stampede, by the way, is a 3 mana card. Start a brawl. Creature you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. This is kind of like a watered down, overrun style effect. Again, you don't really want to pay 4 for either of these, but paying 4 for the choice, pretty reasonable. Fighter Class, another rare one. We have a red and white. When a Fighter Class enters the battlefield, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, and put it in your hand, then shuffle. I mean, it's obviously going hard. The equipment deck is going to put this in Ruhan, my Voltron equipment deck. This obviously goes well in the Brawl equipment decks, like Kiri, etc. 3 mana, level 2. Equip abilities you activate cost 2 less to activate. That's pretty damn good. Like this, like every equipment deck in EDH is that has the colors is playing this, because that second level is nuts, right? This makes it so all of the swords only cost 2. I think at this point Batterskull becomes 3 to equip, which is redonkulous. So many things become free, and those that don't become free become pretty damn cheap. Like this is good. Like this is an absolutely this card will pay for itself, right? You pay the 2, you pay the 3, you can now like attach two swords of blah and blah. That is already paid for. It's not truly, but still. Anyway, 5 mana. Whenever a creature you control attacks, up to 1 target creature blocks it this combat if able. This is like Frenzy, I think, and it's pretty damn good. Frenzy untaps, I believe, but yeah, the fact that you can just say like, I have a bigger creature, and you have this utility creature that you refuse to block with, I'm going to kill it now. Thank you very much. It's pretty awesome. I love this card mostly for EDH, but even in just Brawl, or maybe even like kind of jank historic, this is possibly pretty good. Sorcerer Class, another rare. Blue-red, cool. When Sorcerer Class enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. It's worse Faithless Looting, but, you know, whatever. It does other things. Whatever. Anyway. Blue and red, level 2. Creatures you control have add blue or red. Spend this mana only to cast instant or sorcery spells, or to gain a class level. I mean, I guess. 5 mana, level 3. When you cast an instant sorcery spell, that spell deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of instant sorcery spells you cast this turn. So, this is the first one. Sorcerers are my favorite D&D class. Easily. By far. I'm incredibly disappointed with this card. For what it's worth, blue and red are like my least used color combinations. You might be saying, Christian, you play Grixis. It ain't blue or red. It's Grixis. Like, mono blue, mono red, and blue red are my like least used color combinations, easily. Once you add a third color, it becomes a lot different. But I mean, for what it's worth, Jeskai might be down there. It's close with Bant, I think. But yeah, Jeskai might be down there. But yeah, I don't see the point of this card at all. Because like you want a lot of creatures. I guess maybe you play this in like a tokens deck, where like you're making a bunch of tokens, like for like you're making more tokens than the mana cost of the token generator or something, so you can play like a lot of tokens. Then like if you can find a way to give your things haste to make a bunch of yeah, please someone who plays these colors, let me know if this is good even remotely. I do not understand this card. The Rouge Class, also rare. Blue and black. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library face down. You may look at it for as long as it remains exiled. Okay, you can just look at it. Wow. But this is whenever a creature you control, so you can get a bunch of triggered on this. 1 blue black for level 2. Creatures you control have menace. Makes it easier for them to deal damage. And then 2 blue black for level 3. You may play cards exiled with a rogue class, and you may spend mana as though or mana of any color to cast them. I mean, it's pretty cool. Multiple rogue classes will exile multiple things, but they're not tied together. They reference each other. They reference themselves. So, off. I have a gnat that I'm really trying to kill, but I don't want to just clap during a video like real hard because I'm not gonna edit. F off. This card seems fine. Not great, but fine. Ingenious Smith. 2 mana, human artificer, 1/1. When Ingenious Smith enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it in your hand, put the rest in the bottom. I kind of wish this said 5. 4 cards is a very small percentage of a deck, and you're relatively likely to whiff. When you're playing like artifact or enchantment decks, you have to really find a good balance between the creatures and then the things that you're using to buff the creatures. So whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Ingenious Smith. This ability triggers only once each turn. I don't know what they were afraid of with this card. Stoneforge, this is not. Obviously, this art is making me feel like this is an homage to Stoneforge, but this card is not the same. You only get to look at the top 4. Sure, you can get any artifact, not just equipment, but like, this card is like 4 artifacts, right? Or 4 equipment, right? Whenever one or more artifacts, and then like, you have to limit itself. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's probably fine. Price of Loyalty, 3 mana, gain control of a creature. It's another one of those. If treasure was spent to cast it, it gets a buff. Cool, whoop-de-doo. I don't care for this card. Split the party. I told you not to in the last video. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. So the two of you take a right into the next door. Inside you find a hobgoblin, looks to be a captain, ordering around 2 normal goblins. Second. Yeah, okay. All 3 of them spot you as you enter. Is there anything you'd like to do? No, we'll get to you 2 after combat. I know combat takes a while. All right, you can like play a game of Magic real quick or something. No, like this is ridiculous. How dare you? I didn't see this. It says don't. It says don't. Choose target player, return half of the creatures they control to their owner's hand, rounded up. I mean, this is hilarious. It's 5 mana. You choose a player, so this can bounce things with hexproof. You choose. You're the one returning half of them. It's funny. Like, this is a very funny card. Probably decent in limited, but for what it does, it is not enough. Sepulcher Ghoul. 2 mana, 2/1 zombie. Sacrifice another creature. The Ghoul gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. That's a yikes from me. It's another free sack outlet, but the fact that it's only once a turn makes me sad. Zombie for limited. Monk class, another rare. What the hell is wrong with this? Why does it look like this? I do not know why it looks like this, but whatever. 2 mana. The second spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast. Cool. 2 mana to level up. When this class becomes level 2, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Okay, like, meh, but sure. 3 mana for level 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. For as long as it remains exiled, it has you may cast this card from exile as long as you've cast another spell this turn. Essentially, this card wants to be in the cast 2 things deck. I think typically that's a blue-red deck. Similar to the draw 2 deck. But you can definitely add white to it. This is pretty decent. It makes it so you're, like, this recoups its cost after 2 turns. The second ability is also not terrible. The fact that you get to just bounce something to protect you while you set up your cast 2 spell thing. Oh, I forgot a lot of the cast 2 stuff came from Kaldheim, actually. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, this is probably fine. It's cool. It also like fills your gives you gas because of the fact that like you're casting 2 spells a turn, you're gonna run out, and this helps you along. Yeah, it's cool. The second spell. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, yeah, it would be too good, I think, if it was like the second and after spells. For what it's worth, this one doesn't matter if it's the second spell, so. The Paladin class, also a rare, single white mana, spells your opponent's cast during your turn. Costs 1 more to cast. Interesting. Tithe Taker-esque. You don't get the creature, but you do get the ability. 3 mana to level that up to level 2. Your creatures you control get +1/+1. That's not bad. If you're there are aggressive Death and Taxes decks that I've played on the channel. I prefer the controlling Death and Taxes decks that plan on winning a bit later in the game, kind of just with chip damage. But this one, I think this could easily go into the more aggressive ones. Now, obviously, this is a 1 mana do nothing, but maybe it's just like in the sideboard you bring this in against decks that play at instant speed, if it's control decks or tempo decks. Thank you. I don't know why I'm saying thank you. Or against tempo decks, where essentially you make it so your opponent has a harder time countering your stuff, and you are able to essentially get away with playing fewer creatures to the board, committing less, because your creatures are a little bit bigger. And then 5 mana for level 3. Whenever you attack until end of turn, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 for each other attacking creature and gains double strike. Yeah, based on this, I have to assume that the Ranger class works like this is just a once thing. Attack creature is +1/+1. Yeah, it has to be, because otherwise it would be literally like it would just say like whenever you attack each creature instead of target. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Not here. I think here it's totally fair, but for the Ranger class, it would have been cooler if it was the other way. Yeah, still fine. Moody Lord of the Night, obviously not actually what it's called, but 5 mana Vampire, 4/4 flying ward. They have to discard a card whenever it deals combat damage to a player. Put that many 1/1 counters on it. Holy crap! I'm just now realizing this says put that many. I absolutely thought it was put 1. First of all, this is first pick and limited, I think. Like, just 5 mana evasive flyer, difficult to deal with unless they discard, which is something that's like card advantages at a premium. So at minimum, they're going to be 2-for-1 themselves. And then, like, when it deals damage to a player, put that many. Like, this attacks for 4, then 8, then 16. Like that ends an opponent quick. This has got to be ridiculously good and limited. Also, handsome dude. Not exactly my orientation, but hey, if I was a creature of the night, I'd want to look like this dude. He's even rocking the cape pretty well. He's got a good stance. Cool dude. Sword's a little small. Yeah, this card's really cool. Play it in vampire decks too. It's cool. Paladin Shield. I should know who this is. It's not Gond. I don't know what paladin this person is for. Anyway, 2 minute flash equipment. When it enters the battlefield, it attaches to a creature you control. Equip creature +0/+2. Equip for 3. This card's not very good. Dire Wolf Prowler, 3 mana 2/2 wolf. Pay 2. Dire Wolf Prowler gets +2/+2 and gains haste until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. Makes me sad, but 5 mana. It's a 4/4 with haste, and then you like. I don't know. This card seems not great. Druid class, 2 mana. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, gain 1 life. Pretty cool. Level 2, you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Again, pretty cool. 5 mana, level 3. When this class becomes level 3, target land you control becomes a creature with haste, and this creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. It's still land. The weakest part of this card, but it definitely can help you. You know, if you're like this is an ability where like you can just be getting value and just doing things, then like your opponent board wipes you, you have a ton of land, you're just like, all right, die, and you kill them. It's cool. Okay. Imrith? Imrith? I don't, yeah, it's not an L because it's capital, so The thing is, the I and the Y can make the same sound. Like, this could be Imrith, it could be Amrith, it could be a bunch of things. I'm just gonna say Imrith, actually. Imrith Desert Doom, 5 mana for a 5/5 flying mythic dragon. It has ward 4 as long as it's untapped. Very Ojutai feeling. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then, if you have fewer than 3 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. This card's pretty good. It's pre-ordering for correct amount. I mean, this card seems dope in dragon decks that are 5 colors. AKA, I'm gonna try and put this in Ur Dragon. Another thing about EDH dragon decks, at least the ones that plan on actually casting the dragons, not cheating them into play in some way, is dragons often very expensive. very, very expensive. So getting cheaper dragons, you know, 4 or 5 mana. The average really seems to be around 6, but getting them for like 4 or 5 mana and like be good, not like a furnace whelp, that's pretty dope. Treasure Vault. It's a land that taps to add a colorless, or XX tap, sack it, create X treasure tokens. It's very strange, right? So essentially, you know, end of your opponent's turn, you put 4 mana into this, 2 and 2, to get treasure tokens. Essentially what you're doing is it's weird because you're actually banking the mana. Like, you're getting rid of the vault to not use the mana yet. Because obviously, if you have 8 mana to do 4 and 4, unless you need a very specific color requirement that's hard to get, you'd be better off just using the 8 mana, right? But you get to essentially bank a large amount of mana. Maybe it's like a one-time thing, right? Where you're able to generate a huge amount of mana, but for whatever reason, you're not able to, you're not able to actually, like, get all use out of it. Yeah, seems reasonable. I don't love it. This seems fine. Talisman of Segador? Don't know who this is. It's a single black equipment. Whenever equipped creature attacks, it gains death touch until end of turn. Cool. Excuse me. Fool. Apparently, I need to hydrate, as I was not able to speak. That's good. Whenever equipped creature attacks alone, a defending player loses 2 and you gain 2. Equip 2. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't care. Talisman of the Trickster. It's a single blue equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice Talisman of the Trickster. If you do, create a token that's a copy of this creature and it equips for 1. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's like a 3 mana delayed clone. It's cool. I have a creature Riku deck. I don't think I'm putting it there. You know, a place where this is pretty sick is Muldrotha. Because Muldrotha needs to have like a bunch of different card types to take advantage of her ability properly. This is a cheap artifact. It's only 1 mana that actively sacrifices itself. And Muldrotha decks tend to have creatures that you either want to die or want to enter the battlefield. Yeah, okay, this seems pretty cool in Muldrotha. Definitely gonna try it in Brawl. I don't know if this card will make the cut in the Commander version, though. Teleportation Circle, 4 mana, enchantment at the beginning of your end step. Exile up to 1 target artifact or creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. This essentially is Thassa, except for white, and you also get to choose artifacts. There are some artifacts that you can get some cool value out of, blinking. A card that we'll get to in a second. I have Vecna. You also have some of the cards, some like the 2 mana cards that enter and like draw you a card. So those are this is just another way to kind of get advantage out of those. Very interesting card. I can't think of too many like nuts places where it's stupid dumb, but I'd be surprised if this doesn't find its home. Brea, it does work in Brea decks because it does count artifacts. Yeah, I mean that's one place. Soul Knife Spy, 3 mana 3/2 elf rogue. When it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Cool. I hate this card. Demogorgon's Clutches. Very interesting art choice here. I'm wondering if they wanted to keep, because I believe the Demogorgon has like the weird tentacly hands, but has like 2 bamboo faces. 2 kind of like apish faces. I'm actually gonna Demogorgon. D&D. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This fly is killing me. Yeah, it has like monkey faces. But he only is depicted with 2? Yeah, I'm only seeing him depicted with 2. So it's possible. My theory is that they decided to depict him with more to also look like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. Because this does kind of have like the flower type thing going on, so who knows? Anyway, it's a 3-mana sorcery. Target opponent discards 2 cards, mills 2 cards, and loses 2 life. It's an additional discard, a 3-mana discard that does extra things. 3 mana just for discard 2 is just not strong enough. So you get some, you know, some things tacked on there. Hob boss. Señor de los Benditos Hobgoblin. I think is this just like Lord of the Hobgoblin Bandits, or like Hobgoblin Bandit Lord? I assume this is Hobgoblin Bandit Lord, or maybe Chieftain. I know Señor is like just like male. Ow. Look at my face. Anyway, 3 mana, 2/3, Goblin Rogue. Interesting. What? This rogue with freaking like plate armor attached to him and a gosh danged axe. Sure, dude. Whatever you say. Other goblins you control get +1/+1. A single red and tap it. Hob boss deals damage to any target equal to the number of goblins that enter the battlefield area control this turn. Very cool. This is really awesome in potentially Muxus, but I'm specifically thinking of Franco. Brawl decks, or even EDH decks perhaps. But yeah, it's just a way to just hit anything. Like, it's any target. You can hit players, planeswalkers, creatures, whatever you like. Potion of Healing, 2 mana artifact. White artifact. Whenever Potion of Healing enters the battlefield, draw a card. White and tap, sack it. You gain 3 life. Why? Like, this feels like just the golden egg. Golden egg. So here's the thing. Golden egg costs the same amount. Potion does have a white pip, so we have to keep that in mind. Both of them, ETB, draw a card. Sure. The egg, in order to gain 3 life, you have to pay 2. Oh no! You have to pay 2. Here's the thing though. Is 2 colorless mana equivalent to a single white pip? I don't know. Seems pretty sus. But here's the thing. You can also filter your mana with it. Wizards. This is also a common. Make it 4 mana. It's still not good. Make it 4 mana, man. Like, or 4 life. Like, come on. Why? Like, yeah. It feels like with the +2 Mason, it feels like adding white to a card makes it just worse. I'm not gonna say strictly, but it feels like adding white to this card made it just worse. Forsworn Paladin is a single black 1/1 human knight with menace. That alone is not terrible. You know, turn 1 this, turn 2 Night Lord, turn 3 something, I don't know. I hope I didn't say vampire, because this is a human. You're telling me this pale, yellow-eyed, black and red creature isn't a vampire? No, this is absolutely what happened. I'm certain of it. This card was commissioned as a vampire. Later on, play design had to say, hey, this is too strong. Either in standard, historic, brawl, limited, who knows. This is too strong as a vampire. 1000%. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way this art is for a human. They literally have glowing yellow eyes, pale skin, and a scar on their face. And like, the armor is a dead giveaway. Like, no, I'm not gonna believe that this was commissioned as a human. This is absolutely commissioned as a vampire. Wizards cannot change my mind unless they show me the transcript. Anyway, you can also pay 2 mana, tap it, pay a life, create a treasure token. Sure, whatever, I guess. 3 mana, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. If mana was from a treasure was spent to activate this ability, that creature also gains Death Touch. Sure. Cool. It's repeatable. It's a mana sink. This card's fantastic. Typically, you don't like 1-drops in limited. Sorry, in sealed. But I think this is probably fine in sealed. Yeah, this is... I'm upset that this is not a vampire. Because, like, it obviously is. Like, this card is absolutely a vampire. But it's not. Unexpected Windfall. I assume this is the deck of many things. 4 mana instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards, or create 2 treasure tokens. This feels very similar to some cards that we got from Ixalan. This is an instant, which is pretty cool. Did it have treasure in its name? I don't remember if it did. I don't think it did. There's like a 4-mana red spell, right? I'm not thinking about trash for treasure. No, it doesn't. Oh well. It's like a monkey prying a thing out, but yeah, I mean, this card, cool. It probably sees play in the exact type of deck you would think it would see play. I'm gonna make another hour-long video. God dang it. Spoilers of the Hunt, instant, target creature, 3 mana. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each mana from a treasure that was spent to cast this spell. Then that creature, oh yeah, so this just fights something. If you spent some treasure, it does a better job fighting it. Sure. This card seems not great. Rally Maneuver. Oh my gosh. So I think those are supposed to be a bunch of kobolds. But, I'm getting, like, heavy Nils Ham energy from this, even though it's by Vincent. Gross. Whatever. 3-mana instant. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn, or... Oh, wait. No, up to one other target creature gets +0/+2 and gains lifelink until end of turn. To one other. Oh, that's bullcrap, Wizards, and you know it. The toughness booster is getting a lifelink. Sad. So those two are boned. Like, the action economy alone, they're screwed. Doesn't matter how good their like AC or attacking is. Like, it's literally 2, and then probably in the 20s, kobolds. No, you're not getting out of that. Long Rest. X green. Return sorcery. Return X target cards with different mana values from your graveyard to your hand. If 8 or more cards were returned to your hand this way, your life total becomes equal to your starting life total. Exile Long Rest. So hilariously, X doesn't have to be 8 in order for you to get 8 or more cards. It can be 7 as long as you have a 0 CMC spell in there. If you're playing in an unset game, then you also have half cards, so it'll be even easier. That said, we've seen effects like this before. I don't care. I don't think the card's very good. Sudden Insight. 6 mana, instant, draw a card for each different mana value among non-land cards in your graveyard. Sure. It's an instant. This is sealed card right here. There's nothing else. Burning Hands. Interesting. Pretty good card. Although... Oh, okay, I think that's a tree. A tree creature. 2 mana instant. Cool. Burning Hands deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Alright. If that permanent is green, Burning Hands deals 6 damage instead. That's a cool sideboard card. Like, dealing 2 damage is just fine against a lot of the aggressive decks anyway, but the fact that this can also be sided in against the larger aggressive decks that typically are going to be green is pretty awesome. Like, this is... I think this is just a great sideboard card. Like, not even just a good sideboard. I think this is a great sideboard card. Lair of Hydra. Lair of the Hydra. Wow. I mean, the thing is, Wayne Reynolds works a lot on like D&D and Pathfinder and stuff, so it makes a lot of sense to get him to do at least one of these cover type things. Anyways, this is the green one, and it has the whole normal text. I'm not going to go over it again. Action green becomes an XX Hydra until end of turn. It's still a land. Notice it does not say put X counters on it. It becomes a land, because then that would scale nutsly. X can't be 0. You can't pay a single green to just kill your land, which... I mean, I guess it's probably for arena reasons, which is stupid, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, this is scales. This scales. It's great because it scales. Esturak. Wait a minute. I have Tomb of Annihilations as well. This is the dude from Tomb of Annihilations. It's a 3-mana zombie wizard 5/5. When it enters the battlefield, if you have not completed the dungeon Tomb of Annihilation, return to its owner's hand and venture into the dungeon. Whenever an attacks for each opponent, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token unless that player sacrifices a creature. I love this in Gisa. One, it's a cheap way to get 5 zombies. You know, you pay 3 mana, you, in response to the trigger, you sack it with Gisa, you get 5 2/2 zombies, and you venture into the dungeon. Because it doesn't say if you did return it. It also is a way to just keep entering into dungeons if you don't complete his dungeon. But so, apparently there's a way where you can get like infinite dungeon in Arena with Acerak. I think MTG Goldfish has shown it, so check out MTG Goldfish's YouTube channel. You should see it as a short. But yeah, apparently you can like do this infinitely. It's also just like a strong zombie. It's cool. I like it. Skeletal Swarming is a 3 black-green enchantment. Each skeleton you control has trample, attacks each combat if able, and gets +X+O, where X is the number of other skeletons you control. This is fucking hilarious. At the beginning of your end step, create a tapped 1/1 black skeleton creature token. If a creature died this turn, create 2 of those tokens instead. This card can get out of hand quickly. I love this card. I want to play it in Arena, so I will. True Polymorph. 4 blue, instant target artifact or creature becomes a copy of another target artifact or creature. True Polymorph is a spell. It can do dumb things. It's a very powerful effect, but it is 6 mana. It is an instant, which is good, but it is 6 mana. Oh, right. I totally forgot that I decided to stop here instead of continuing to go. Well, that's awkward. I did say, you know, fuck it. I'll talk with these cards as well. There we go. Talk about the rest of the cards. Grand Master of Flowers. This is Bahamut. So I was talking with other people about how you would do Tiamat and Bahamut, but I think this is actually a really good way. Bahamut likes to take the metallic dragons not prefer, but they are more likely to enter human form, and I believe technically white dragons are the ones who do it the most. It could, no, I think it's silver dragons. Whatever. It's either silver or gold that likes to do it the most. One of them is super like away from humans. I don't know if it's bronze, copper, or I hate my life. Brass, because those are all the same fucking thing. But yeah, whatever. Anyway, 4 mana, loyalty 3 planeswalker. As long as it has 7 or more loyalty counters on it, he's a 7/7 dragon god creature with flying indestructible. That's pretty sick. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, I'm realizing now. I was like, how would this work? Can he still lose counters? So you can still take counters off of him, but when he becomes a dragon, he doesn't have any of his like, you can't use his abilities. +1. Target creature without first strike, double strike, or vigilance can't attack or block until your next turn. Cool. Nice way to protect himself. Awesome. +1, search your library and or graveyard for a card named Monk of the Open Hand, reveal it, and put it in your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. Full card. I like this card. If nothing else, it's just like a stall card until you get to him being a dragon. This is Monk of the Open Hand. 1 mana, 1/1 elf monk. Flurry of Blows. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a 1/1 counter on Monk of the Open Hand. This doesn't make sense to me. Like, why? Like, how is this card related to this? Because this doesn't, like... This doesn't help you cast 2 spells. This likes to go into the cast 2 spells deck. And I actually, like, the thing is, I think this is a good card, and it'll see play in, like, the white weenie deck that already runs some of the cards from Kaldheim that care about you casting your second spell. I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. White Dragon, 6 mana. Oh, this art's sick. 6 mana, flying, 4/4 dragon, cold breath. When White Dragon enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature does not untap during its controller's next untap step. This is technically a blue ability, although white is allowed to do these kind of prison-y things. They're allowed to tap creatures, and they're allowed to make it so that creatures essentially can't untap, so I think this is fine. Rust Monster. Rust Monsters suck. They're very mean, and they like to destroy your equipment. 3 mana, 2/1, first strike, beast. Okay. Sacrifice an artifact, rust monster gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Hey baby, it's the new Atog. Although I mean this has first strike. This gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and it only costs 2. This gets +2/+0. +2/+2, +2/+0. I mean the difference is this is first strike. I mean look, it's another Atog, man. Like what do you want me to say? It's another Atog. Someone make a historic Atog deck. Do it. Divine Smite. 1 and a white. Instant. Target creature, planeswalker, and opponent controls phases out. If that permanent is black, exile it instead. It doesn't do enough. That's all I'm going to say. Brave Enfeeblement. Hey, Scryfall, you're drunk. Anyway, Brave Enfeeblement is a single black instant. Target creature gets -4/-1 until end of turn. If that creature is white, it gets -4/-4. This card is sick. This card is, like, stupid. Sure, it potentially can't kill a lot of things necessarily, but, like, against aggro decks, there are still plenty of X1s that you want to be taking down. But also, like, it just like, -4 is a lot. And then if you're going against a white deck, it dies. It, like, just dies. Like, stop. Wild Shape. Great art. Wait, Sam? Wait a minute. I was gonna say this looks a lot like Rebecca Gay's art. This is Sam Gay. Interesting. Choose one. Until end of turn, target creature you control has that base power toughness, becomes a creature type, and gains the ability. 1/3 turtle with hexproof, 1/5 spider with reach, 3/3 elephant with trample. Sure, we've seen types of this. It's fine. It's whatever. I will look up to see if they're related. Because that is very coincidental. Mordenkainen's Tone of Foes. Again, I have Mordenkainen Tome down there. But yeah, Mordenkainen, 6 mana, 5 loyalty, planeswalker. +2, draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on the bottom. -2, create a blue dog illusion creature token with this creature's power and toughness are equal to twice the number of cards in your hand. I did not realize that said twice. It still dies at 0. But still. That is pretty sick. And then -10, exchange your hand and library, then shuffle. You get an emblem with you have no maximum hand size. This is fucking sick. Here's the thing. This is Blue's Clues, and that's all that matters. Plate Armor, 3 mana, white equipment. Equip creature gets +3/+3 and has Ward 1. Sure, cool. Equip 3. I mean, you know, +3/+3, Ward, fine. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each other equipment you control. This can be free. This can just be free, which is cool. Eyes of the Beholder, 6 mana instant. Target creature gets -11/-11. Here's the thing, Beholder. You're not better than falling into a grave. My man, the Beholder, not better than falling into a grave. For what it's worth, this does just get rid of things. Oh gosh. Inferno of the Star Mounts. Yeah, I mean, that's literally Inferno of the mountain stars. That sounds so sad. Inferno of the Star... whatever. 6 mana, 6/6, flying haste, can't be countered dragon. A single red Inferno of the Star Mounts gets +1/+0 until end of turn. When it's... Oh, right. When its power becomes 20 this way, it deals 20 damage to any target. It's not Braids of Fire. No, it's Braid. Hear me out. Cool. Eye of Vecna. You should have done that. 2 mana legendary artifact. When Eye of Vecna enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Man, it's like you can get some benefit from losing a life. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2 if you do draw a card and lose a life. This is sick. White has no issue gaining life. This is a pretty decent way of doing that, of getting card advantage. This obviously works with Book of Wild Darkness. No, can obviously. It's just cool. Hand of Vecna is less cool in my life, in my eyes. But, you know, 3 mana, equip to legendary artifact. At the beginning of combat in your turn, equip creature or creature you control named Vecna gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Equip. Another equip cost is pay 1 life for each card in your hand. So, this is the least interesting for me. I think the book and the eye are more interesting, but, you know, this still can just swat a fool. I'd only include it to get the god. Check for traps. 2 mana sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. Exile that card. If an instant or card with flash is exiled this way, they lose 1 life. Otherwise, you lose 1 life. It's a bad discard spell. 1 life means nothing. Like, I'd rather just have a 1 mana spell. Circle of the Moon Druid. 3 mana, 2/4. Human Elf Druid. Bear shape. As long as you turn, Circle of the Moon Druid is a bear with base power and toughness 4/2. I do not like 3 mana 4/2s in limited. I think 3 mana 4/2s are bad. A 3 mana 2/4 is cool. 3 mana 4/2 dies. Vampire Spawn is a 3 mana vampire, 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 2 and you gain 2. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm horribly out of breath. And I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I have a PO box. Feel free to send me nonsense. I'd like to thank my lovely patrons for the continued support. Without you, I would not be able to continue doing what I do. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, until next time, all will be one.